Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and explain the cheat sheet for integers. I'm going to drop this into the classroom too so that you can see it, but in case you needed my voice with the video. So again, at the top, they're just reviewing that integers are sets of positive and negative whole numbers. So they show you a number line. Negatives are always to the left, positives are always to the right. Again, we give you another example of absolute zero, which really just means the distance from zero. So basically dropping the sign and keeping it a positive number if it's just a digit in between the absolute bars. Okay, so the notes that I had you take in class this week, adding integers, they're repeated right here. And the main thing I want to focus on is if you have numbers that are the same side, you have positive and a positive, and you're adding them together, then you're going to end up with a positive answer. Like 4 plus 5 is 9. Same math that you've been doing since first grade. If you get a negative number, however, and you add another negative number, again, you're going to get a negative answer. Okay, so just like with the positives, you had a negative 4, and now you have a negative 5. It's going to be a negative 9. So a greater digit, but in the negatives. If the signs are different, and this is where the math will look a little funky. We are adding these together, but if you have a negative and a positive, okay, whichever number is larger in value, like if you had a negative 4 but a positive 5, a 5 is a greater number than a 4. Therefore, it gets to keep its sign. Since it was a positive 5, your answer will be a positive answer. And even though this is an addition, when you have a negative and a positive, you're finding the difference between the two. So a negative 4 but a positive 5 is only a difference of 1, and it would be a positive 1. Same is the truth for the other version. So if I had a positive 4 and a negative 5, now the negative number is greater. Therefore, my answer will be negative, but the difference is still 1. So your answer is a negative 1. And then repeating of the subtraction tips, I just said that when you're thinking of subtracting, take all of your subtraction problems and turn them into addition problems. This is the keep, change, change. Keep the sign of the first number. Okay, keep that number. That's your starting point. Change subtraction to addition, and then change the second number in your problem to the inverse. So if you had a positive 4, it's going to turn into a negative 4. So keep, change, change. In the example they have for you, they have a positive 4 that we're keeping. We're changing the subtraction to an addition, and it was a negative 4 for the second number that we're now changing to a positive. So instead of 4 minus negative 4, we have 4 plus positive 4, and a 4 plus 4 equals 8. It's the same that you would get if you took positive 4 and subtracted negative 4. Subtracting negatives is gaining back positives. Okay, so practice your skills for adding and subtracting integers. IXL lessons under the letter C all the way through C.14 will help you with all your addition and subtraction. Okay, because next week we are moving into multiplication and division of integers. I'm going to quickly throw in at the end of this video cheats for this. No matter with your multiplying or dividing, okay, if you have two of the same signs, so a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative, either way, you are going to get a positive answer. Okay, examples: 5 times 5, 25. A negative 5 times a negative 5, two negatives cancel each other out, so you're going to have a positive 25. Okay, same thing with division. Two same signs, positive answer. So a negative 5 divided by a negative 5 is going to give you a positive 1. 5 divided by 5 is going to give you a positive 1. When the signs are different, however, you have a positive number and a negative number. Since you have one negative sign or an odd number of negatives, you are going to get a negative answer. They have a positive 5 times a negative 5. Since there is a negative sign, you get a negative answer, negative 25. If you have a positive 5 divided by a negative 5, you have one negative sign, therefore you get a negative answer. Okay, this will also work if you have three numbers that you're multiplying together, and one of them is positive and one of them is negative, you have a negative answer. Multiply it by that third one. If it's positive, you still get a negative answer. Okay, so an odd number of signs gives you a negative answer. An even number of negative signs, you're going to cancel it out and you'll have a positive answer. Okay, good luck with your practices. I hope this video helped. And again, this cheat sheet will be a big help too.